This year's Eastern Conference Finals matchup between the New York Rangers and the Florida Panthers is going to be a great series to watch. Should be some great overall hockey and a very entertaining series as well, and very well could go 7 games in my opinion. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at each of these forward lines, all 3 D pairs, and the goaltenders for both teams here, and kind of compare them, and I'll give you my opinion on who is, the better overall line for each kind of, section there, line 1, line 2, line 3, going through all those and kind of, break down those lines. I'm going to talk about which line, in my opinion, I think is better. Starting off here with the top lines for each team, both kind of, Panthers and Rangers do have, kind of really 2 fairly even kind of forward lines there that you could argue is, the top line or, the second line there. But kind of on paper for both teams, the Panther side of things there, it's kind of Tarasenko, Barkov, and Reinhart. That's kind of listed as at line 1. And for the Rangers, it is Kreider, Zibanejad, and Roslovic. Both those lines are fantastic. I would give the edge to the Tarasenko, Barkov, and Reinhart line. Defensively, they're phenomenal. Barkov is such a good defensive centerman. He is amazing. He won another Selke this year. He is such an elite defensive forward, one of the best in the entire NHL right now. He is so great defensively. So having a guy like that there with his overall skill set, offensively, he still is pretty good, but defensively, he is an absolute monster out there. They've only allowed a single goal as a line together so far in the playoffs, which is pretty remarkable. Offensively, they do only have 3 goals for, so it's nothing, too crazy there. But as a line, Tarasenko, Reinhart, and Barkov, they have been fantastic defensively. 3 goals for isn't too bad, but defensively, they are elite. And for the Kreider, Zibanejad, and Roslovic line, they are fantastic as well. Very, very talented line. I would say, like I said, they'll give the edge to that Tarasenko, Barkov, and Reinhart line. But Kreider, Zibanejad, and Roslovic, they've been great together. 5 goals for, 3 against. They've been pretty great defensively. Definitely not too bad there at all. And offensively have produced as well, especially in that Game 6 there. In that third period, they did a great job there where Kreider ended up getting a couple goals there at even strength in that third period, a part of his hat trick. So, in general, that line's pretty good as well. But like I said, I would give the edge to the Panthers' top line. For line 2 here, we have for the Rangers, Panarin, Trocheck, and Lafreniere up against Verhaeghe, Lundell, and Tkachuk. And I would give the edge to that Verhaeghe, Lundell, and Tkachuk line for the Panthers. Not by a crazy amount there, but offensively for the Rangers here, Panarin, Trocheck, and Lafreniere in the regular season as well as in the playoffs offensively, they have been absolutely amazing, scoring 7 goals, but defensively, they have not been too great, allowing 6 goals against, which is very, very high. Defensively, like I said, not too good, but offensively, they have been amazing. So that's kind of the trade-off there with that line. Defensively, not too good, but offensively amazing. 7 goals for, 6 against is all right. And then take a look here for the Tkachuk, Lundell, and Verhaeghe line. They have 5 goals for, only 1 against. So offensively, they have been fantastic. Defensively, not too bad at all. Very good as well. So in general, I would give the edge there, like I said, to that Panthers line too. And now taking a look here at the third lines where I would give the edge to the Rangers as they have Chytil, Wenberg, and Kakko. Before it was Cooley on that line instead of Chytil, but now with Chytil returning the lineup here, it does seem like he's going to play in Game 1, and he will more than likely be on this third line here with Wenberg and Kakko. And compared to the Panthers' third line of Luostarinen, Bennett, and Rodriguez, a pretty solid line there as well. Bennett has had time on the second line there, still with some injuries and stuff like that. Now it seems like he's probably on the third line, so that definitely provides some great depth for them. But same thing with the Rangers here, kind of knocking down a guy like Will Cooley to the fourth line and having a guy like Chytil there in that line 3 spot. Defensively, this is going to be a very good line for the Rangers, though. Chytil also had some pretty great speed alongside 2 guys who aren't the quickest in the world, like Kakko and Wenberg, but very solid 2-way guys. Adding in a guy like Chytil here could definitely help it offensively. And for the Panthers' third line there, they have a pretty solid line as well. Luostarinen and Bennett and Rodriguez are not too bad at all. I think overall it's going to be a pretty good line there. Bennett definitely adds some good offensive power to that line. Rodriguez, Luostarinen, solid 2-way guys, but in general, I would give the edge to that line 3 for the Rangers. And for the fourth lines here, once again, I will give the edge to the Rangers as they have for their fourth line, Cooley, Gaudreau, and Vesey. Like I said, Cooley was on that third line there, but with Chytil coming back, that pushes Cooley down to the fourth line where I think his role really kind of fits himself. Alongside guys like Gaudreau and Vesey, he can play a really solid kind of, 2-way game. Not an elite defensive guy, but definitely not too bad defensively as a winger. Also plays a pretty physical game. He's got 1 goal so far. Not a whole lot offensively, but not too bad overall. I definitely think will be a nice addition to that fourth line. And Jimmy Vesey also has 1 even strength goal so far, and Gaudreau has 2. So combined, Cooley, Gaudreau, and Vesey for a fourth line have 4 even strength goals combined. Gaudreau has a shorthanded one as well. So that fourth line there offensively definitely can do a bit better, I would say, than this Cousins, Stenlund, and Lomberg line, which is going to be a very physical line, solid defensively, but I definitely wouldn't say is quite as good as Cooley, Gaudreau, and Vesey. Especially considering Lomberg, Stenlund, and Cousins all have a combined 2 points, only 2 assists, 0 goals as a whole line there. So definitely not a whole lot offensively going with them. But like I said, solid physically, definitely a solid defensive line as well. Not too bad, but not quite as good. And for the top 2 D pairs for each team here, you have for the Panthers, Forsling and Ekblad, and for the Rangers, Lindgren and Fox. I think both these 2 D pairs are fairly even overall. If Foxy and Lindgren were a bit healthier, I would definitely give it to them. But right now, considering Foxy is clearly dealing with an injury from that Capitals series that he sustained against Nick Jensen, I think I might lean slightest bit toward the Ekblad and Forsling line. I mean, Forsling has been phenomenal this season. Ekblad is another kind of top pairing caliber guy. So I would give the edge to Ekblad and Forsling by a tiny bit, but if Foxy and Lindgren, even himself as well, were a bit healthier, because Foxy is clearly not playing up 100% or even close to that really right now, so I would give the edge to Ekblad and Forsling, but not by a crazy amount at all. Next up here, we have for the second D pairs for each team, Nico Mikkola and Brandon Montour for the Panthers, and for the Rangers here, you have Miller and Trouba, which I don't love that D pair together, honestly. At times in the regular season, we definitely saw them be, pretty big liabilities together, especially Trouba. He has definitely had his struggles at moments throughout this season, so I would definitely give the edge for the second D pair side of things here to the Panthers with Nico Mikkola, the former Ranger, and Brandon Montour. He has been absolutely fantastic. There's a very kind of solid two-way line there. A bit more defensive guy, Nico Mikkola. Pretty good offensive guy in Brandon Montour. Definitely, I would give the edge over Miller and Trouba together. And personally, I would not really kind of put Miller and Trouba together. I would rather see, Miller and Schneider as that second D pair alongside Eric Gustafsson or Zach Jones alongside Trouba for that third D pair. But now taking a look at the third D pairs here, for the Panthers, it is Oliver Ekman-Larsson alongside Dmitry Kulikov, which is overall a pretty solid line there. I mean, they got 4 goals for, 4 against. Not too bad at all. A pretty solid third D pair there. Obviously, OELs, they have pretty great puck movers, solid offensively. Kulikov, pretty solid kind of all-around D-man. So, not too bad there at all. Pretty solid third D pair for them. For the Rangers, it is Eric Gustafsson and Schneider right now. Like I said, I would rather see Miller and Schneider paired together, but that doesn't seem like what we're probably going to see, unfortunately. But Schneider, I would say, has been pretty great so far these playoffs for a young D-man. Still, I think he has been quite good. Definitely looking like he's kind of taken a bit of a step forward in his overall game. Then for the, Gustafsson side of things there, he hasn't been the best, and I know a lot of Rangers fans have kind of called for Zach Jones getting put in there, and I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. So I don't know if we're going to quite see it right away, at least, especially game 1. I don't think we're going to see that, but maybe down the road there, if Gustafsson can't really get his game together and has continued to kind of struggle a bit, I definitely could see the possibility of seeing a guy like Zach Jones put in there, but we do know Gustafsson is more of the veteran guy, so I'm not quite sure we're going to see that, but you never know. It definitely is a possibility. And now for the goaltenders here, I think it's pretty obvious that Igor Shesterkin is the clear better goaltender. A lot of Florida fans want to try and bring up that, Sergei Bobrovsky, yes, he was obviously in the Vezina running there. He was one of the finalists, but this is not the regular season anymore where, Bob was actually playing like a very, very good goaltender. Now it is the playoffs where Bob has been fine. He has not been elite by no means. I don't understand where these Panther fans are coming from trying to say that he is elite. I don't really get that at all. The numbers clearly show, and the play that I've watched to show that he's not been elite. He's still been fine and good at moments for sure, but overall in these playoffs as a whole, he has not been elite. There is no argument for that really. Taking a look here at the goals saved above expected, which is, I think, really the best stat to look at when you're trying to really see how good a goaltender is. Right now in second place, you have Igor Shesterkin of the Rangers with 10 games played, an 8.8 goals saved above expected in second place behind Jeremy Swayman, who's in first. And Bobrovsky is down there in 8th place with a 2.6 with 11 games played. But you take a look at the guys above Bobrovsky to really kind of show, how, not elite really Bob has been. These guys right above him, Aiden Hill, 3 games played at 2.9. You have UC Saros, 6 games played, 3.5. Joseph Woll, 3 games played, 4.3. And Logan Thompson, 5.2 and only 4 games played. And Bob also only has a .902 save percentage, so I really don't see where these Panthers fans are coming from trying to say he's been elite. At moments, he definitely can be elite and definitely can look like one of the best goaltenders in the entire NHL. But so far in these playoffs, as a whole, Bob has not been elite. There is no real argument for that. If you watch him play, you look at the stats, you look at the analytics, and you just look at him as a whole, he has not been elite. And these guys above him, I mean, they have way less games played than Bobrovsky, and they have, decent amount more goals saved above expected than a guy like Bob. That clearly shows that he has not been elite. He's been a fine goaltender, sure, but definitely by no means has been elite, and definitely has not been anywhere close to as good as Igor Shesterkin. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. If you have enjoyed, please smash the like button. It helps with the channel a ton. I would really appreciate it. Also want to thank all you for watching these videos and supporting this channel. It means a lot. I have a ton of fun making these videos, and it's growing a ton because of all you out there. Also, don't forget to comment down below your thoughts on this series. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button for daily New York Rangers content as I do post every single day. And let's go Rangers.